Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to Hello Dave. Let's dive into the news. Last week I talked about the planned release of Update 7 for Elite Dangerous Odyssey, and as many of you will probably already know, it has been postponed. Now Frontier's aiming for this week, but again, as you can see, these dates are not set in stone. I think that obviously it's better Frontier that they wait a day or a week or however much time they need before they launch an update, rather than being half finished and ended up destroying more than it fixes. So personally, that's just the way it is. Again, I would rather have it being delayed than having come out too early. But again, we talked about Update 7 last week, what it contains with the combat changes and some quality of life stuff. Frontiers also said that the delay of Update 7 has not affected their plans for the update for Horizon that's coming here in September as well. The Adamastor/Salvation storyline continues in Elite Dangerous. Some players, myself included, got a message in-game from Salvation once again. Now this was not sent to all players, and I have a feeling that it is only players who took part in the two previous events that also kind of, if you've been working with them before, they will now mention you this as well anyway. But you got a new message from Salvation saying, hey, there's been a Thargoid attack on some stations. There are now rescue ships in the area. Business as usual, when we have burning stations, there will be rescue ships you can ferry passengers out. But what is new this time is there is a mega ship in a nearby system that is selling basic medicines, and you're going to carry those basic medicines, trade them, buy them in one mega ship, fly them over to the rescue ships, and then sell them there. Now, what the Salvation character told us was that these are actually not really medicines. These are components that's going to be used for a new Anti-Xeno Weapon. It's going to be an engineered version of the Gauss cannon, medium-sized Gauss cannon, with both increased capacity, so extra ammo, which is nice, burst fire, and then it has a reduction to the optimal range. The reduction to optimal range, I guess, is a balancing thing, so not becoming too overpowered, but the burst fire is, well, while it does allow you to fire more quickly, a lot of Thargoid hunters will know that often it's not how quickly you can fire the weapons, it's more how quickly you can manage the heat. I think the extra heat output of these weapons with the reduced optimal range as well is definitely making this a weapon for more advanced players. I don't think a new Thargoid hunter should pick up this weapon right at the beginning. It definitely will require that you are more accurate with your flying, so you can stay closer, so you stay within that optimal range. And also with the increased heat, you really need to manage that. You need to cycle your weapons correctly so you don't get a heat spike. All those things that will be like second nature for people who've been hunting Thargoids for ages, but for newer players who haven't done that much Thargoid hunting, this is going to be a difficult weapon to use at the beginning, and you might actually be better off with just a stock one. I actually think it's pretty cool that Frontier adding these weapons that requires a higher player skill cap rather than just requires more grind to get. Now, while these weapons are handed out during this event for people who take part, they are also going to be available after the event is over. So don't worry if you're not going to have time to run the event, or if you didn't run it by the time this video is out, the event is already over. It only ran over the weekend. So don't worry if you didn't get a chance to pick up the weapon just yet. They are going to be available after the event is over. Exactly how, I don't know, but my guess is probably like a human tech broker, probably something with you handing over materials. I don't know, but it's probably going to be something along those lines. For those of you who like carrier trips and exploration, listen in here, because I'm planning a new carrier trip with the D2EA NorthStar, where we're going to head out to the recently discovered 45G planet. It's not that far out, it's like 6,000 light years out from the bubble, so it's not too bad. You can fly the distance yourself. However, when you are dealing with 45Gs, there's a decent chance that you're going to crash into that planet. And if you do, well, it's 6,000 light years again. So, therefore, I'm planning a trip where I'm going to fly the D2EA NorthStar out there, park it around the planet, and then you can go around, you can play around on the planet for a weekend, and then I'm going to fly you back on a Sunday. The trip is going to be departing from LP, which is our faction's home system, on the 1st of August. There's going to be more information on Discord. All the information is going to be handled through Discord. So if you are interested in taking part in this trip, go to discord.d2ea.com. You will find a section for the event in there. There will be jump plans, jump times, what system are we going to be in, when, and all that information will be over there. I'm not going to sit and list it here, but basically we're heading out of the 1st of October and we're going to be staying over the weekend. And then on the evening, on Sunday, the 3rd of October, we're going to be flying back to the bubble and parking the carrier back in the system where we departed. So if you feel like a little weekend getaway and play around with some high gravity with some friends and have a bit of a laugh, drive an SUV around, I don't know what you want to do, but last time I did a carrier trip, it was a ton of fun. A little bit shorter one this time, but I think it's still going to be fun. And if you want to take part, then again, everything is managed through Discord. And if there are updates to the flight plan or everything changes along the way, I will be posting it over in the dedicated channels for it on the Discord server. So come by over there. Over in Star Citizens, one of the things that many people have dreaded for a very long time has finally been announced, and that is there's going to be a server wipe for newer players to Star Citizen back, I think before 3.8, update 3.8, which is like a year and a half ago now, I think almost. I can't remember. I think like a year and a half ago now. Before that, it was quite common. We would see server wipes relatively frequent. After 3.8, they said that they're going to be doing less frequent server wipes, but of course they aren't going to go away. And that means that we are going to get a wipe. Now, what does a wipe mean? A wipe means that your character will be reset back. That means that all items, all money and ships that you have purchased in-game will be removed and they will be gone. Everything, of course, that you purchased with real money, you will still be able to keep, or you got through a referral program, those kind of things. The reason why they're doing this wipe is because with 3.15, they are reworking the whole inventory system. And one of the things they're also doing is I think they're doing some behind-the-scenes database restructuring, which will allow them to do partial wipes in the future, meaning instead of doing these full wipes where they take out everything, if they make a change to, let's say, the reputation system, they're going to be able to just wipe reputation. Or if they make a significant change to something that feels if there's a bug and they feel like they need to do a wipe with like, let's say, only equipment, then they can wipe only equipment, or they can wipe only cash that you collect. So they're going to be able to do partial wipes in the future, and this is of course why with this new system, when it's going to be implemented, they have to do a full wipe in order to fit the new database structure. The timing, I think, is a little unfortunate. There's a lot of new players who've gone into Star Citizen who's been migrating over from Elite Dangerous. I can definitely see that it could feel a little disheartening for those people. I mean, you just spend some time, maybe you just managed to get yourself buy yourself a new ship, and now all the progress you've done so far is gonna be set back to the start, basically. So I can see this being disheartened, and I would think that it's probably also going to be affecting the player numbers. I would see a lot of people who are saying, nah, maybe I'm just not going to start up again. I don't know. Now, what this is going to mean for the future, are we going to see more frequent partial wipes rather than seeing these infrequent complete wipes? I don't know. I would probably expect so, but I really don't know. Nobody likes a wipe, so I really hope that is something that they're only going to do when it is really needed. But of course, in Update 3.15, we are not only getting a reset, but we're also getting a bunch of new stuff to play around with. As I said, there's going to be a complete rework of the inventory system. The inventory system right now is I would say a little janky. I mean, it works-ish, but it's definitely janky. They're going to do a complete rework of it. Now, what they're doing is, instead of having this one global inventory that you have access to no matter where you go, that means even if you are far away from your ship on a completely whatever moon somewhere, not a soul inside, you have access to your 10, 20 different spacesuits, and you can just swap them out like that. That is going to change with Update 3.15. They're going to be dividing the inventory into multiple different sizes depending on where things are stored. It's basically just different places you can store your items. And the inventory is going to vary in size, where the biggest one is going to be what they call your local inventory. Local inventory is like stuff you store in, let's say, a station or in a city. So if you have a lot of like extra suits or extra spaceships, you can store those on that station in your local inventory. Then you have your home inventory, which is going to be slightly smaller. Your home inventory goes on this spawn station that you call, well, your home station when you log in. You can choose this on login. This is, as we talked about with the medical gameplay in previous Hello Daves, this is where you're going to be able to respawn in case you die. And again, we have the whole medical gameplay coming in, so the whole gameplay around death and damage to your character is going to be completely reworked. but you're going to have a separate inventory called the home inventory that's going to go to wherever you decide to spawn. So I could probably see people use the home inventory more than the local inventory. But if you need to store something somewhere, you can use the local inventory. Then of course you have a ship and vehicle inventory. That is pretty self-explanatory. This is stuff you store in your ships. Now, how that exactly is going to work with reclaims, I mean, if something happens that forces you to reclaim your ship, does that mean that all the stuff you stored in your ship or vehicle is going to be lost? I would probably think so. So using the ship vehicle inventory is a little bit more dangerous, I would say. It's probably not as safe as if you have it in your home or your local inventory. Then you have your external inventory. This is, well, everything external. So this would be like boxes, crates, but also bodies from like corpses, dead people. You can go and you can loot those people. And again, as we talked about earlier, when you die, everything you carry on you is going to be lost now. It's not going to be lost, but it's going to be on that corpse and somebody else can go pick it up. Potentially you could go and retrieve it yourself if you spawn back at your home facility. But then finally, we also, of course, have your personal inventory, and that is everything you carry on you, basically what you have in your pockets. So that's your personal inventory. And the final thing they mentioned was there's going to be I think as far as I understand it, it's going to be a new equipment slot. That's going to be your backpack. So no longer is your inventory tied to your undersuit or to your armor. It's now going to be a separate inventory slot, so you can have a backpack with you. Finally, I just need to talk about the live stream tomorrow. Plan is pretty straightforward. I want to go and I want to do my part and do some missions for Terra X. It's been quite a while since I've done anything for Terra X. If you don't know what Terra X is, we have a in-game faction called Terra X Astro Corps, our own player faction and squadron in-game. And every day we have our faction planner who posts daily orders, and you can go and you can run these missions. We're a very open faction where people can come, they can take part for as long as they feel like. Basically, it's like daily missions in Elite. So if you want to have a few daily missions, you can go, you can do them. If you want to, you can not. If you don't feel like it that day, then you're more than welcome. Again, there's no like requirements for the faction of like time played or missions completed or anything like that. You come by, you have fun for as long as you want to, maybe fly with some of the other people working for the faction. Or if you don't feel like it, you go do something else that day. Tomorrow I'm going to go out and I'm going to be running missions. Now, I don't know, of course, what the order is going to be tomorrow. So I'll have to wait and see. We'll see during the live stream. I'll be looking at the daily orders and then I'll be going out and be running some missions. I hope we'll see a lot of you guys. As always, the live stream will be here on YouTube as well as on Twitch, and it will be at 7 o'clock in game time.